How can acceptance by the majority determine the degree of correctness? Ask yourself, when was the last time you thought independently? We need to think independently. We need to be ready to be confused and, most importantly, ready to handle contradiction. This will most often lead to a question, and a question has the power to change the world. But how can we be smarter than the majority and other people? Who are we to question? How do we decide who's right? The answer is, we must try and understand everything we study using logic. Logic is the only way. Studying accelerates this process of trying to attain the truth. That being what's right.
Also, in debates, we are asked to join a side, whether we are for the motion or against it. This is restrictive in the most horrible way. Taking sides and getting attached to them leads to us not seeing the faults in an idea. We need to think free of any notions, and we need self-debate. If we don't do so, it's the end of free thought. If you think about it, we are often so affected by impressions that they affect our actions. In the past 3 years in school, I have dealt most intimately with asking questions and their consequences. It always starts with an explosion and then it's suppressed. Illogical suppression is disheartening, but truly we must not care about it, at least until we are getting what we want, which is a good interaction. But the fact is, we do react, or at least I did. We write down our ideas wherever we can, trying to escape it. But true power and courage, I was once told, comes from continuing them. Most of us would have heard of Adam Savage. Adam Savage, the co-host of Mythbusters, is the co-host of Mythbusters. This show follows skeptics on their quest of testing out commonly accepted myths, which, as we know, are in most cases wrong. Now, imagine for a second what would have happened if Isaac Newton, the greatest scientist ever, would have agreed to Aristotle blindly. Aristotle was a physicist. At that point of time and to his level, he tried to understand and quantify very well the effects of the interaction of the world. Questions like, why things stop moving? His answer was, things stop moving as they get tired. Now, the world could have agreed to this great man for the rest of time, but it didn't. Isaac Newton discovered gravity, quantifying nature using individual, unaffected logic. He said things in motion continue to stay in motion as long as an external force is not applied on them. Him asking questions like why things fall have changed the world. Now, I'm not saying that everyone is wrong. There's a huge possibility that it is them who are right. But this fact, this acceptance, can only come out of verifying everything they say using our own logic, not because other people accept it. We can never truly be right. There's always a possibility of us being wrong, and it needs to be explored, either on our own or with others together. Free thought is what is required. Free from any attachment to any idea. This, as I said before, leads to us not seeing the faults in it. An objective outlook is required in a quality discussion. Most people are too confident for this. Their confidence comes from the feeling of being right, but we can never truly know who's right. Therefore, tolerance is key to a discussion. We need to consider even the minutest opposition, no matter how odd it may be. As Rudyard Kipling said, wrote, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. Considering relative opinions as objective facts and acting on them have led to wars. Now, we can change this. We can get rid of fake truth together by promoting flux and discussion, a self-correcting relative quest to absolute and independent truth. We have to use a collective intelligence consisting of individual views to find answer to things. A single judge is always faster, but then there is no opposition. Clarity isn't good. It can only come after self-debate. We cannot have blind belief in anything. Let's try and discuss and find answers to things using logic and reaching a consensus, using logic, not taking advantage of a number. Let's not take anything as right when trying to discover what is. Truth is objective, that is its nature. It's uninfluenced, even of belief, I feel. As Ayn Rand said very well, A is A, and wishing it won't make it so. Scientists need imagination, even though science needs to be as objectively logical as possible to imagine the impossible situation, and we need to get on terms with this change. Collectively free debate is very efficient. A progressive and good debate will do wonders. Therefore, our knowledge needs to stay up to date from an objective sense. There's a reason why a part of the Constitution is still amendable. Quoting Ayn Rand, individual rights are not subject to a public vote. The political function of rights is actually to protect minorities from oppression by the majority. But the fact is, people still hate long arguments. People consider truth to be the nature of common information and are scared of flux, scared of finding answer to things using their own logic. But why? Why this quest for absolute truth? It's because everything else is false. It's our job as humans to decide what is right and what is wrong and why. The odd can be the truth. The contradictory and the opposition can too. Only an open and unbiased mind is required. Take nobody's word for it. This is the motto of the Royal Society. Thank you.